Hello, listeners. It's Bob here, and we've got a special little bonus story for the mid season hiatus that we've got over the holidays to give ourselves a little bit of a break. And so today, and this is not a out of season bonus, this fits right along with everything that you've been hearing, but it's just not a full episode. So, what I have for you today needs no fancy introduction, but I hope you enjoy The Weak and Wounded by Patrick W. Marsh. They've been ambitious since I've been locked away. Once I was out into the present and free to breathe, walk, wander, drift, and float amongst the world, I could not help but be impressed by their breadth of progress. When will they be satisfied? Do they even have an ending they're trying to reach? I had watched it all, of course, from other vantage points. Yet, being a spectral eye camouflaged in the background is not akin to physically being there. To experience the sights, the sounds, the tastes of this new world is truly to know it. The one whose eyes I took, it knew. Yet, with all this grandeur, I'm still disappointed. The humans were even more forceful about their industrial perversions than I remembered before my elemental cage. The violation of the natural world, the indulgence of technologies and fictions. They have all gotten better at doing the wrong things. I am both impressed and disgusted with their excavation of materials from the earth to create materialistic addiction. It is rampant. Commerce appears to outweigh the human population. They own things, build homes, forge identity from superficiality and not action. It is the same old song before I was imprisoned, only a wider melody. Everything just has a shiny new coat to it. I've seen it all before, in this world and in others. For days after my escape, and after the Emerald Hawkmoth had cudgeled its own flames into more manageable powers, I strolled through the world in my phantom way. I knew it would not find anything real behind the walls or beneath the rooftops. So I wandered west to the plains. The vastness and emptiness of the prairie felt like home to me. So much of it was preserved, untouched, like it was when Ishkode took me. When I was a child, I did not appreciate the glow of those fields, the quilt of uncensored yellow and green grass constantly trembling beneath an ever-vast sky. Now I see how timeless this earth is in its organic wonder. The plains remembered me, and I remembered them. I walked those streets to feel something. It was so nice to see something familiar, something so glued to the core of my human memories that I actually wandered uncloaked and in the open. A few of their wheeled machines drifted by, then slowed down and sped away. Minnows scattering in the deep when they see the jaws of a pike. I laughed at their reaction to my form, and I especially chuckled about when they would tell strangers, friends, and lovers over what they had witnessed today. Nobody would ever believe them. I spent a fair amount of my newfound freedom on those grassy knolls, seeking traces of where I met Ishkode. He used to tell me not to feel panicked by memory or time. Everything leaves an imprint on our reality, even if it is hidden to the naked eye. He taught me to see in different ways, in both the past and the present. I miss him sometimes, even though he set me upon a course few could ever understand. He's still here, within me in some ways, but every day his echoes get a little foggier. My conclusion is almost here. The Emerald Hawkmoth wants me to return to the forges. Since my freedom, I have not returned to pledge them. I am weak. The containment stretched me. I do not remember much about her. Slivers of words and experiences. I do recall the emotions. They are heavy, sad, like anchors I cannot see to shake. no matter how far I sail between worlds. I could talk to her if I wanted. I could summon her shadow from the soil like she was a blossoming seed in need of an underworld sun. Then I might ask her why I was tortured, ignored, and blamed for every little nuisance that happened to us traveling west. The others inside me want to know too. My memories are shared. Still, she is not worthy of a resurrection. She should stay dead and buried, forgotten by everyone except for me. And if only she could see me now. A mountain of magic and fire, roaming between two worlds, drinking the hidden forces. I own that memory of her, and I would not relinquish it to some small conversation that would get lost in the chasms of reality. Nor do I think she deserves to look upon the living world again. I made the right decision on the riverbanks long ago. I do not want the hawk moth to see me this way. I know it shows the forges snippets of what I am doing, seeing, living. I know it censors some of my missteps, as few as they are, because it still wants to live and exist beyond this realm and the next. It is my ally, but it has a life of its own. I know it does not want to be glued to my folded-over carcass for the millennium, but it sold its soul as well. Anything to avoid time. Anything to avoid the dirt, worms, and dust. I remember the forges, but will they remember me? When I go back there to wander the wild requiem to our once thriving world, how will I feel? I know so many things in such a multitude of moments, yet the unknown still lingers. I'm spread between these realities. My predecessors were as well. In some ways, their path was more difficult, despite my entrapment. Regardless, the ledger must be signed. Promises must be kept, made and remade. Ishkode must have been beyond patient to attain me. He waited for the right moment. How many seconds, days, years, decades did he watch those golden hills? How many children must have meandered by? Little field mice before the talons of a devilish hawk. The corruption is far simpler in this modern human world. The weak and the wounded are everywhere, especially their children. Finding my new charge was not difficult. I wandered away from the cage, the traces of their powers and the leftover calamity from my release. I could have released a collage of hellscapes on that city and those insects chasing me like a teardrop of sugar. I would love to torture them, but I need my protege. I did not have to go far to find the boy. If only the hawk moth was more stable, he would not have seen my chains and sinews in the hallway for that simple second. He did. The nightmare won't be sitting behind a sunny field with wildflowers. It will be as real can be. How will I charm him now? Maybe in time he would learn to love me enough to pass on my flesh. I will give him time to see me as I am. I will show him my power as well. It is intoxicating. There is no point in hiding the abnormalities like Ishkode did. In time, they always appear. Nothing is truly hidden. The Hidden Oaks podcast is a collaboration between Patrick W. Marsh, Robert Don, and Owen Swerkstrom. The Weak and Wounded, written by Patrick W. Marsh. The voice of Hidden Oaks, performed by Robert Don. Original music composed and performed by David Schwartz. Find more of his works at dtschwartz.com. Produced by Robert Don, Owen Swerkstrom, and Patrick W. Marsh. You can find out more online by visiting us at hiddenoakspodcast.com or by finding us on Twitter at Hidden Oaks Pod, as well as Facebook and Instagram at Hidden Oaks Podcast. And don't forget to check out the Hidden Oaks store at hiddenoakspodcast.com. Hidden Oaks is an Ironfield independent production. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you with our next full episode of Season 3 right after the holidays. Until next time.